right, you guys know what time it is. When you hear that intro, it means it's Thursday. It means it's the locker room show, and it means you're in the place to be. So we got an amazing show, you guys, lined up for you on Draft Thursday. Draft 2023 is taking place as we are talking, and we're definitely going to get into that conversation. So thank you for joining us. There's many things you can do with your Thursday evening, but you are in the place to be. Like I said, I am your host, Coach Terrence Wood, coming live and direct. The gentleman that you see to the far right of me, depending on how you're looking at your screen, is the one that holds me down every Thursday. That's my boy in the trenches, the one that I came up with, and that's none other than Q, the guru. What's going on, Playmaker?
Man, I'm good. Man, it is Thursday, isn't it? Boy, I almost forgot. But y'all lucky, boy. I showed up. I don't want to get fined, though, so I went in and showed up.
There you go.
We got to get it done, too. We about to get it done.
Yeah. And
we got a great
gentleman,
guest. Great guest on tonight.
Great guest. About to rock the show right now. And I already know how he's coming. So you guys are in for an amazing treat. This is a gentleman that I've known since I was 16, 17 years old. This is somebody that I've got a very, very special relationship with. We pushed each other. We rooted each other on, and just somebody that I think tremendously highly of, you guys. His name is Zimbalist Carter. He was a phenomenal athlete and football player coming out of Riverside, California, Southern California. Pretty much, you guys could have had his choice of wherever he wanted to go for college. Unfortunately, there were some twists and turns in his journey that we will get into tonight. You're going to learn a lot. You're going to be inspired, and then you guys are going to walk away knowing what type of moves you should make for your career. So we are excited, you guys, to bring Zimbalist Carter on. He is a fitness coach. He's a nutrition specialist, you guys. He trains corporate people. There's nothing that this man doesn't have his hands in, and he came and held us down in the locker room. What's going on, Zim?
Oh, man, I'm glad to be here, man. I appreciate you fellas letting me join you in the locker room. It's about to go down.
Oh, it is. Indeed it is.
They're not ready for this, bro.
They're really not.
No. This is exciting, man. Thank you guys for having me. This is a blessing. I know, we it's like one of those last minute things, man. But this is where it matters the most, though, right? Is when you come in the clutch, right? It's fourth quarter. You know what I mean? You got to make a play. Your boys show up.
And what he's talking about, y'all, is we're always bringing on the best of the best from the industry. And unfortunately, we're supposed to have Coach Zephyrin Scott on. He's a footwork specialist. Last minute, we're praying for you, Coach. Family emergency. I called my boy. I said, I know that if my boy picks up, it's going down. And sure enough, he picked up the call. He said, I got your back. So you guys are in store for a treat. Like he said, came through in the clutch. And like I said, man, cream of the crop. Cream of the crop. A lot of you guys have no idea what this man is doing on social media, what he's doing in people's lives. Like I said, fitness, training, motivation, it's all there. Nutritional, he's cooking meals. There's nothing that this man doesn't have his hands into. So excited to get into tonight's show. And let's start off, man, with our first topic. For those that don't know, all our topics for the show are at the bottom of the screen on the ticker. And let's get into it, fellas. I mean, reinventing yourself. I don't think you could pull a better guest on for this type of topic. Zim, when I met you, we were headed to the Shrine All-Star game in Southern California. You were making plays all over the field. So you were what people thought you would be. And unfortunately, things took a little bit of a turn for you. So can you talk to us, maybe let the audience in a little bit on your journey, and then tell us how you decided to reinvent yourself?
Yeah, so this is one of them hard stories, man, because it still gets to me to this day. So this is big. Okay. So yeah, going to, just to put it out there, T and I, when we met, we were both committed to University of Colorado. We already had signed. It was the summer right before. And even after that game, all that happened, I got declared ineligible going in our freshman year. So not to get on the details, but going back and forth with the clearinghouse, it was literally from a grade change that happened after graduation, and it just never worked out. I actually ended up in Yuma, Arizona that first year, came back that summer, stayed a year or two in Colorado. So me and T were around each other, and I was out there training, but I couldn't get eligible. And at the end of the day, I ended up leaving and going back home. So that was kind of how a lot of things started with me. But being ranked 4th in the country coming out of Riverside, California, was a big deal. And I'll be honest with you, a lot of cats that are, in the position they are right now, you got to understand how, the opportunities are. And I will say this, like, I think it happened for a reason though, T, to be honest with you, when I think back to it right now, like, I don't know, man, like if I would have ran the path, like we talk about, get to the, D1, play at a Power 5 school, go handle your business, go to the league. I don't know if I was, I don't know if that was what God's intention for me, because everything that happened after that, man, it kind of taught me. I had to kind of mash my rations, I call it. I remember getting a job because I didn't have money. My mom would give me like $20 every 2 weeks, which is really nothing. And I was just even talking to you guys earlier about how I couldn't even afford 25-cent wings at the time, right? But I had to survive, and I still had that dream though. I wasn't going to let it go. You know what I mean? I still trained, I did everything else, and I started to work. I built some skills, but I could tell you right now, I could still cover everybody. I could still outrun. I was running 4.3, 4.34, something like that. You know what I mean? And when it was all said and done, what I started to realize is where the stuff that was happening to me was actually happening for me. Right.
Okay.
I'll be honest with you. Like I'll speed up a little bit, but those experiences, because I had opportunity to work in some sales positions, but also at the same time, like develop some skills that, most people aren't developing because they're just out, maybe they're going to school playing football, but that was something outside of that. I never worked before, but I realized when I realized it, it was like, I can do more than football. Anyway, fast forward, I ended up finished the school at a smaller school called Trinity International University. And I balled out, but I've had so many injuries, torn, actually tore my ACL before that, but triple hernia surgery, herniated disc in my neck. I was playing safety. I was, if I was playing today, they'd kick me out the league, because the way I hit, you know what I mean? Yeah. So long story short, I'm 23 going to finish the school. I tried out for a lot of teams, and I remember walking out of a physical at the at Minnesota Vikings, and I just long story short, I had the herniated disc. The same doctor who evaluated my neck when I was in college was the same doctor that was evaluating my neck at the University of Minnesota, a neurologist. And he had a conversation with me. At that moment, I was at the same time working at Equinox Fitness, which is a gym, right? And I met this man named David Storch, who was a CEO of a company called Air Corporation. Sold a membership, and he offered me an opportunity to go work for his company. And I, at this time, 23-year-old young black man working at a high populated, white corporation, with the CEO's plug, I was like thinking to myself, is this opportunity for me? Now, this is the crazy part where I say, I don't know how, this is why I know God was doing this to me, was that at the end of the day, when I walked out, the dude told me, he says, look, you're a phenomenal athlete, but that neck injury you should have stopped you from playing football a year ago, 2 years ago.
Time ago.
Yeah. And he's like, I'm going to tell you right now that you should be thinking about what your options are outside of this. And he kept it real with me, because he was the one that held me from playing when I hurt my neck in the first place. Yeah. So honestly, it was a hard decision, but I remember calling my dad, and I was kind of crying. I said, Dad, I'm literally walking out an opportunity knowing that I can sign with one of these teams, but I'm done. And I was okay with it, because I told myself that I was always going to get to the league, but it didn't have to be the NFL. You know what I mean? It didn't have to be. I could go to the league. That mindset, I can change it and could put myself in a position. I thought the only reason why I had this opportunity to work with this other company was just because of the fact that, I had skills, and he saw it. I was working at Equinox because it was a way for me to work out, right? But at the end of the day, I had the transferable skills. I knew how to sell, I knew how to connect with people. I had people skills. I understood how to like engage and do those type of things. So I took that job. It was a $110,000 job. It was probably more money I would have got paid from the league. And I'll tell you, the day that the concussion movie came out, my dad was upset. But the day that movie came out, my dad watched it. He would tell me, he said, son, I think you made the right decision. So that's just me keeping it real. This is me keeping it real.
Yeah.
So through injuries, you decided to put that dream on the shelf, and you almost reinvented yourself through necessity.
And I had to, T. Over and over again. When you tear an ACL, you got to get back. When you rupture, you have triple hernia surgery, you got to bounce back off of that. When you herniated disc in your neck, you got to bounce back. So I've always been, pulled down, but I've always bounced back. You know what I mean? So, Yeah, that's what it is, man. So hopefully at the end of the day, like somebody can see that, because it's not trying to discourage you from following your dreams and everything else, but you got to pay attention to the path on the way, what signals you're getting, right? And then at the end of the day, know when you got to pivot.
Love it. There you go, you guys. And then, like he said, the blessing can be on the other side. It could be something way bigger than you toting the rock, you guys. So you guys got to pay attention, and definitely pay attention to your body.
For sure.
Today is obviously a huge day, gentlemen. I mean, we all had this dream of walking across that stage. We told mama we was going to retire her and buy that house. And for some of these young men, it's becoming a reality. You know, today, this is their dream coming true. So I wanted to ask you guys, and we'll start off with you, Q. But when you sit back, man, and whether it was thinking when you were a little boy how it was going to go down, or when you think about how it would be today if you were walking across the stage, Q the Guru in 2023, shaking Goodell's hand, what would be the vibe for you today, man? Would it be low key? Would it be turn up time? What's Q the Guru's draft vibe?
You know what? It would just be, man, ready to get to work. The thing is now you have to understand it's a job. It's a high paying job, but it's a job, right? So you have to get into the mindset where, obviously, you know, your family, your friends are going to be happy for you. You're going to have your moment of excitement, of course, because that's something that's a long time coming. But when that dies down and you get to those facilities and you meet the staff, GM and whatnot, it's time to get to work. And depending on where you drafted, if you're not, you know, first, second round, maybe third, early third, you got to make the squad. So don't stop there. You understand what I'm saying? Your phone ring. It's great getting that phone call, but you still got to strap it up. You still got to process this playbook. So it's a lot of work to be done. So enjoy your moment, let it pass, and then get to work. Simple as that.
Great point right there. Talk to me, Zimbalist. I mean, obviously, man, you were on the track and highly, highly recruited. I know you had the dreams of walking across that stage, man. Would it have been turn up time in Riverside, or would it have been low key at the house and you know, very few?
Nah, it would have been a turn up. But I'm gonna say this. Right now, if it was today, like, first of all, I know if I'm gonna walk across that stage, I know everything I do is gonna brand me. Like, it's just a huge opportunity where eyes are on me at that moment. Yeah. So number one, like, just like we do when we play, like, I'd make sure that I was super fitted though. But I also know that when I walk on that stage, like, I gotta capture eyes. I gotta capture, because, you know, just like anything else, man, when you walk out there, you talk and you receive that number one jersey for whatever team you get picked up on, man, like, that's huge. You ain't gonna ever have that opportunity again. Right. Yeah. So to me, understand that, but that's understanding the game. So we go back and say, okay, let me do that part. That's the business, right? Let me market myself well here when I do this. Right. And then when it's all said and done, like you said, man, like, it's just like work, bro. You show up like you're supposed to, like, and be ready to get the work in, because if you can ball and then you can have your brand be on point, it's a wrap. You're transcending, bro. That's it. Yeah. And that's what I would do right now. Yeah. You know what I mean?
So would you say it's similar for the high recruit that's coming from high school and committing to the high college?
For sure.
Yeah, bro. Absolutely. Because now, especially way the NIL is and everything else, bro. It's like, you know, you want to be confident in your skills, but show you got value. Show that you're something more than just the sport. Because that right now, that's where people are looking at. And it's hard for young people to be that way. I know it's a little bit of a maturity thing, but like, just sit down for a minute and look at it. Be like, man, what can I do? Or who am I? Just be that. Like, be 100% of who you are, but be real, and then understand that, like, think of yourself just a few years ahead. And what would you tell yourself to do if you had that opportunity, could do it over again, but you're doing it for the first time? That's what you should do.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Hopefully these young men got great people around them, but it always hits me every year to see these young men living their dreams, because a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. A lot of blood, sweat, and tears. I see Marco and the Munoz family coming from San Antonio. What's going on? That's a young up-and-coming superstar right there. And, of course, my mother-in-law says, hey, I'm back on the show and love being here, rocking and rolling. So I appreciate the love, you guys. Definitely share with your friends, share with any players, coaches, parents that you know that might want to get into this football industry. The next topic, you guys, is something that definitely caught my attention. And this one is called When Family Ties Go Wrong, fellas. When family ties go wrong. Obviously, you know, these young men getting drafted. We hoping everybody's got the best intentions that is backing these young men. But this was something in my neck of the woods in the Bay Area. Windsor woman, mother of former NFL player, charged with embezzling $2 million from her employer. So unfortunately, Scooby Wright's mom, who he's now with the USFL, had a great career with the Arizona Wildcats, went on, played a little bit in the NFL. Now he's currently with the USFL, but it is his mom that was dipping into the employer's pockets a little too much, to the tune of $2 million. And I wanted to ask you guys, because, you know, Zim, Scooby didn't have nothing to do with this. He didn't have nothing to do with this. But as you see in the title here, former NFL player is mentioned. And of course, his name is mentioned in the article. So do you think it's okay for the media to pull in Zimbalist Carter, to pull in Q the Guru, when you over here doing what's right? You trying to feed for your family. Mom done made a mistake. Bro done made a mistake. But now my name's mentioned in the article. What's Zimbalist Carter's feeling on that?
Well, look, man, honestly, I think it's dirty, but it's the only way it's going to grab attention. If they just said a woman, you know, embezzles money, it's going to be like, whatever. It doesn't grab attention. But unfortunately, this is the manipulation of media, right? It's only the only way to get the attention, because like this article don't mean anything if it doesn't get attention. You know what I mean? Even though I read the article, bro, and honestly, like, I mean, nobody was really watching her, bro. They was letting her do whatever. There was no parameters. They was kind of like, you know, even her manager was like, don't do that again. And then he got in with her. You know what I mean? So in the end, it's like, you know, if it doesn't show any responsibility to the business, even though, you know, you can't right or wrong, right? But at the end of the day, man, like the NFL player, even the NFL player part of it, like it's even putting the NFL out there, and the dude's not even in it. He's a former NFL player. He's not even currently one. So they really trying to stretch and get as much attention as they want to. And this goes to show, like, as the athlete, when you're doing things like, you know, like you're going to, like, anything you do is going to get exacerbated to a place where like they're gonna blow it up just for attention, no matter how it affects you, and they don't care. Okay. You know what I'm saying? That's what I feel. So I think it's wrong, but I mean that's how they do it, because we wouldn't be talking about it right now if it didn't say it.
Exactly. So Q, what's your opinions, man? I mean, obviously we can't choose our family members or their actions. Should there be like a code of conduct in the media where if the person wasn't involved, we don't mention them, or is this, hey, just when you're trying to do good things in life, this is what comes with it?
No, it's exactly what Z just said. I mean, that's the way the media works. That's how they grab your attention. That's how they get their ratings. I mean, but you being an athlete, especially a professional athlete, mind you, you're always going to have, you know, family and friends that are close to you, but you have to be mindful. If you know that some things that they're into, or you even have an idea, you know, their actions are going to draw any type of attention to you, then you're going to have to put your space in between as Aqib Talib. Better yet, let's go back even further, right? Because you have to remember that was his brother. Aqib didn't do anything. Fella Jayhawk Ahmad didn't do a thing. But look how his name was in the media and in the situation, like he was the doer of the wrong. The same thing in regards, you got to remember back when Ray Lewis could have got life. Ray Lewis was looking at 20 years plus, just being around the wrong family or friends at the wrong place, wrong time. So it's always going to be, you have to be mindful, because a lot of times it's going to be your best friends that are closest around you or your family members that end up having to do with your image being ruined. So you have to always be mindful, family or not, mother, father, you always have to be mindful, because what did you just say, Z? You're a brand.
Right.
And this can hurt the brand. So you put space in between people, whoever it might be. And that's hard, but that's what you have to do.
Yeah. And from all indications, Scooby didn't know about this. He was playing ball and mom was doing her thing. Right. But it's very unfortunate that her son's name had to be drug into this. But also on the flip side, what do we usually hear about? We hear about the athlete making a mistake, and you're dragging your family's name into it as well. Dad got to go to work and hear that you made a mistake. So you guys be smart out there, family and athletes. We are on to our next topic, and this is in line with athletes making the right decisions and being smart. And Q, you brought this one to my attention, man. And we are definitely in the day and age, dude, where gambling is front and center. It's heavily in your face. It's in the stadiums. Now it's in college stadiums. And it looks like the NFL possibly may have a little bit of a growing issue on their hands. So I'll throw it to you, Q. Do you think this will be a continuing thing as far as NFL players getting suspended for gambling? And then second question, why are we risking it all for a couple of dollars on DraftKings?
Well, I mean, it's one of those things where it's always going to be sports bet. You know, it doesn't matter the sport. It doesn't matter. You can look up any documentary on whatever sport you like. It's that if you know that it's a rule, why would you just risk? We just had a conversation, 45 seconds about all the blood, sweat, and tears you just had to give to walk across the stage. Now you're going to risk it in regards to betting? Like it's not worth it. It's flat out not worth it. This is not going to, it's not the first, it won't be the last, but the NFL is not going to waver in regard to taking away. You have to remember, fellas, you get paid by the week when you're in the league. So if you're here in 5 or 6 games, that's 5 or 6 what we get paid T on Tuesday. On Tuesday. That's 5 or 6 Tuesdays with no check. That's no direct deposit. You see what I mean? So it's like you're affecting your own money trying to make money. But look what they're losing in the end. I mean, it's unfortunate. I mean, you even look at, and I hate to say, obviously, the love Jameson Williams, from St. Louis, Missouri, my hometown, a super promising kid. He had a torn ACL and hasn't even really fully proved what he can even do out there, and he's already lost 6 games. So it's one of those things where you don't want to see it, but it's about putting the right people around you too, T, like you just said. They're not going to let you make that mistake.
Let me ask you this, Zim. Obviously, you're heavy on mental health and guys making mindset decisions that are strong and powerful. Do you think there are people around them that knew they were doing this, or do you think this was a solo mission?
No, so I was. You actually laid up my comment. So I got a lot of friends that play in the league, and they always say there's like 2 different groups inside the locker room. There's the ones that dudes that's wilding, and it's the ones that dudes that's handling business. You got to choose what group you in, bro. And be honest with you, I feel like these cats. I mean, you know better. I mean, it's in the contract, it's in the the rules. But then I go back and think about it, like why would you want to sacrifice all of what you have for something very temporary? You feel me? Like and there's other ways to gamble. You don't have to gamble on the sports. Other ways, like they can go to Vegas, right? They have no problem going to Vegas and gambling.
I think as long as they're not on sport, yeah, that's it.
Yeah, and so and you can't be in their buildings doing that stuff. So it's like, and so when I get to it, it's like it's a simple thing, bro. It is, but I think that when you get multiple people around you that are cool with it, you start feeling comfortable with it because you feel like you're getting away with it. And then when it come down on you, this is what happens, bro. And the reality is, like, you asked me about like the mindset part. It's like, man, like when you a lot of these cats, are learning to have money, right? And you got to think, maybe some of these cats is trying to win these bets to pay these taxes they paying on these checks they're getting, right?
Hey,
It could be. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
that could be their thing. That's what they say, hey, man, you know, if you do this, you know what I mean? This is a way to flip it.
Yeah, could be.
But but at the end of the day, it's like, at what cost, bro? Like, so you say I can get this, but I just lost how many people got suspended for a year? You know what I mean? In the whole process. It's crazy to me, bro. I shook my head because there's a lot of other stuff like this. I'm just like, you know, and I'm sure a lot of people who are outside of the, you know, sports look at it and go like, why would you got everything? Why would you do that?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's a good question, but the bottom line is like, it's who you around. And like Q said, is like, you know, if I'm over here, if I tell you, T, yeah, I'm about to do this, and you my guy, you like, bro, that's
no way.
Right. No, you're not doing that. Absolutely. And if you do it though, it's all on you. You gotta take it. You gotta take that L all by yourself. Yeah,
sure. And the thing is, Z, you got to think about it too. Like I keep saying, you're hurting the brand. It doesn't. In some cases, you get to this point. You're a professional athlete, absolutely, and this is how you lose endorsement deals. I mean, granted, he's not an athlete. Look what happened to Jonathan Majors. Yeah. He had two major movies out at the same time, and how quick did everyone drop him? PR firm, everybody overnight, boom. Think about how you everything around you in regards to any endorsements with supplement companies, or you had your own hamburger, your own, you know, whatever the case may be, your own pizza at Domino's. That could be gone overnight because all of a sudden now these corporations, they don't want to deal with that. Damn. You're a problem, and it's only going to take one time.
And you're not even talking about incentives or anything that they might be missing. You'd be mad if you got $1 million for 50 catches and you come up 10 short.
They take away 8 games. You're not going to do it in 8 games.
Right there.
Yeah, but not even that. You can get money for not even playing the sport, and be making that money when you're done playing, but you cut it off because you did something like
Facts.
Facts.
Great point.
And
we got a few coming in the comment section. The great Coach Fall says the NFL is dirty. They promote gambling on one hand, but then they smack down the players on the other hand. So I get that point too.
True,
but
that's right.
You know, once they set the rules, you gotta follow the rules.
Let me say this on that. So if I'm doing blackjack, right? Because this is on both. If I'm playing blackjack and the dealer is betting, how fair is that? You know what I'm talking about? That's what it is. It's like you over here trying to play get 21, and the dealer like, I'm betting on me. I'm gonna win. They gonna win. You know what I mean? So it's too much of a conflict of interest. That's all it is.
Yeah. You know? But the thing is, they allow it in boxing.
Yeah.
But that's the thing about
they do.
Oh, for sure they allow
it's an individual sport.
Do you think Floyd wasn't betting on himself?
Oh, that's right.
He was.
That's the dirtiest sport ever, bro. Like, I'm sorry.
You know,
come on, man.
I mean, yeah. So, but hey, Eric, that's a great point. But it's their league, so you do what you want when it gets your league. So you're right, but that's just how it is, man.
Great point. All right, you guys. Well, hey, hopefully this isn't a continued ongoing topic in the locker room show, and these young men start to see that the NFL is not playing around. Also, you young football players, if you're starting to get into the gambling and all of that, you got to cut it out now, because you may be hurting yourself down the road. If you got a boy that told you he just won $100, tell him, bro, you know, start cutting it out, man, because we try and make it to the top. So you guys remember that. On to our next topic, you guys, and this one is obviously in the heat of the moment. This is going on right now, the off-season 7-on-7 tournaments. Back when I played, Zim, Q, we had 7-on-7 too, but now it's different. Now there's national teams. Now these kids are traveling across the country. They got crazy looking uniforms. They coming out in ski masks, and
Michael Myers, man.
It's just next level with the 7-on-7 for this year. And I'm seeing it all. So I wanted to ask you guys, and Q, we'll start off with you. Has 7-on-7 gone too far where there's no development anymore and it's all entertainment, or do you think there's still a spot and some space for 7-on-7?
Oh, it's always going to be a spot and space in 7-on-7, because this is an opportunity young, if you can understand, to start developing yourself as a brand early on before you even touch campus. So absolutely, you're still keeping the rust knocked off your game, you know, in between, you know, season to season. Okay. The only thing is, the possible risks in regards to, a season-ending injury, but I mean, again, you got to put work in, but 7-on-7 is a great opportunity. I wish it was to the level when we were coming out. I'd be trying to figure out any kind of way how to grow my brand off of all these showcases, because these kids are traveling all around the country. So they're getting a massive amount of exposure. And again, this is before they even get to campus where they sign. So it's beautiful.
Okay. So talk to me, Zim. I mean, obviously you were a freak athlete, man, multi-sport star. 7-on-7. You got young Zimbalist coming up. He's saying, Dad, I want to go Ohio State, USC. Are you pointing him to 7-on-7 in the off season? Are you going track? Are you going with a specific trainer? What you doing? Or all three?
That's tough, bro. I try to do it all, but I'll be honest with you. I think like the 7-on-7 tournaments are kind of gangster. I just wonder who's winning though, because 7-on-7 is really like on the offensive side. Like you got a little leverage. So if you're a DB, but you're a dog and you could lock up, you're like putting yourself on a whole nother level. But I also think the exposure you get with all that competition and learning how to push yourself to another level, the repetitions of that, I think take you to another level. So, I think it's different when you don't have pads on and all that kind of stuff. But at the end, the conditioning, getting yourself like comfortable, but playing against high talent all the time, because maybe the school you went to, the conference you play in, you don't get to see them type of dudes, so you get exposed to that. I think that's gangster, to be honest with you. But at the same time, if you ask me, like, is it track, whatever? I mean, right now, if I'm in the summer, I'm trying to do everything to walk into my first practice, whatever else, blazing, strong, quick, ready to play. I'm trying to get on the field as soon as I can. So if that means that I gotta, like, maybe it's track season I'm doing during school, but on the weekends I'm doing these 7-on-7s.
Right.
And I got a coach in between. I'm gonna manage it. And that's the thing. Like nowadays, these kids there's support out there that allows this. A lot of these people building these teams are putting money into these teams because they see the value of how they can help these young men become, and then they win in money. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, like, let's get it. I mean, you'd have told me I could walk out with a check playing on 7-7. Everybody like this, bro. Everybody believe in the game like this. Like,
I'm trying to tell you, because you got to think about it. T, the way it's evolving now. I mean, man, some of these teams, they have corporate sponsors. Yeah. They're getting track suits, bags, everything, all their expenses in regards to travel, all of that, meals. Corporate sponsors. So you're getting an opportunity not just as a player, but if you're a business owner, well, you might want to go ahead and cut a check to one of these teams. Yeah. That's an opportunity for you too, because I'd have my business, car wash, whatever the case may be, if I own a Rallies, whatever, plastered all over these uniforms.
Right.
So it's an opportunity both ways.
Okay. Yeah. Now, but would you guys, if you were ranking, working out with a trainer, one-on-one DB skills coach, 7-on-7, or track, how would your ranking break down?
That's tough. I'm gonna
put 7-on-7 first.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me tell you why, because you got whatever you doing with a coach, it's got to apply. If you could play on the field, all the other stuff you're doing, because I be seeing stuff nowadays. I'd be like, that don't even make sense. Like I see some of the stuff. Yeah. So you could be training, but does it translate to football?
Right.
You know what I mean? So I would literally put 7-on-7 first. Now, if you got a legit trainer and it's specific, like, are you going, like, because I know you got people that do footwork and all that kind of stuff. Like, your footwork need to be icy. Do you need to get faster, stronger? I think you need to work on whatever you gotta really get better.
Your weakness is right. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And then then track, just because you should be getting out there and blazing everybody anyway. But I would put definitely Q. If I'm gonna say it, I'm putting 7-on-7 first.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I totally agree. Like I said, because it's about, the cool thing about it is, it's like when you're playing against these kids at such a high level, and you're playing against these kids from IMG and St. John Bosco and Modern Day. The cool thing about it is, if they don't end up, if you're a major recruit, if they don't end up your teammate, it's you getting a taste of it, and you get an opportunity to be like, I'll see you again.
Yeah.
I'll see you again during the season. You know what I'm saying?
Hey. You know what else?
So it gets them out their bubble.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and I mean, this is no disrespect for anybody I play with, but like, I could play quarterback, bro, but I didn't have any receivers. Like, if I'd have been able to go and just get me like 2-3 good receivers, I could have lit up. So it exposed me. And then on the other hand, you get the ball, get with people you can get on a team and ball with people that will bring you to another level. So
they'll make you level up.
Yeah. I mean, all of us would have maybe met each other or played against each other earlier. So that's a big thing right there. There are some skeptics with the college coaches wondering if everybody's in good faith. And of course, some of the high school coaches are wondering if some of their recruiting bravado is being lost. But outside of that, it seems like the kids are having fun. And it's been a good deal so far. So we'll obviously keep our eyes and ears close on the 7-on-7. I see the great Coach Hughes says 7-on-7. I believe that it teaches players on both sides of the ball how to work in space and how to defend against certain situations. So there you go. And Coach Fall says IMG just sold for 1.5 billion.
Oh yeah, somebody in China.
You shared that with me. So if you don't think football, especially at the younger levels, and sports ain't a big deal, well, there you go. 1.5 billion for one school. And then Coach Corey says, I agree. 7-on-7 would be my number one. Anything you do with my personal coach has to be applied on the field. So there you guys go. You get it from the best. All right. We don't want to keep Zim too long. You guys are getting amazing value, amazing content. But this man got a massage to get to. And it's one of them wifey husband massages. And I ain't having his wife come after me. So we're going to get this thing cracking, and we are on to the lightning round, you guys, the lightning round, and we got Zim in for the very first time. So it's about this is one of our favorite sections of the show, and this is our opportunity to see what's going through our guest's mind as he hustles, as he makes his money, as he trains people. There's things going through his mind that he ain't telling people. But we know what he thinks.
You got me scared now.
We're gonna put him through a little word creation, and he's got 60 seconds, you guys, to tell us what's on his mind. I got my list here. I'm interested.
I'm not even ready for this. Let's go though. I'm ready. Let's go.
It's all good.
This is truly live and impromptu.
What happened? Like what is going on right now?
He's still athletic, but 4-3 back in his day. So I'm thinking he's gonna breeze through these pretty quick. So we're gonna get it popping. Let me get my stopwatch ready, and we are at zeros for all the good people watching that think I cheat. So that's how we about to go. Now we're not just doing this for fun. We actually are in the mix for you to get a prize if you can get to 14 or more, Zim.
I can get a prize. Okay, let's go.
Yeah, you and your wife getting a hotel stay and a dinner on the Locker Room show. Okay. So if you can get to 14 or more, then she's gonna be happy you came on the show, brother. Right. So let's get this queued up. And you ready to go?
Yeah, let's go. I mean,
all right. First thing that comes to his mind. Number one, Riverside Poly. Go.
Bears.
Rick Heiser.
Colorado. Buffalo.
Favorite football player growing up?
Emmitt Smith.
Chicken chow mein or shrimp fried rice?
Shrimp fried rice.
Lauren London or Megan Good?
Megan Good.
Mike Singletary.
Chicago Bears.
Marshall Faulk.
Rams.
Best player you ever played against?
Kenyon Rambo.
Tacos or burrito?
Tacos.
Cooking. Favorite fruit?
Bananas.
All right.
Ray Lewis.
Raven.
Hot tea or iced tea?
Hot tea.
Lamar Jackson, 55 seconds.
Ravens, number 8.
Grits or red beans and rice?
Red beans and rice.
Give him that one. You gotta give him that one.
I said it. Give me on 14. I said it. I said it.
Okay. Hold on.
You gotta give him that one.
It wasn't my best subject, but I got my cheat sheet here. So let me get to counting.
And we got to go back to replay.
Okay. And then we're going to cover a couple of these. Now, here's the thing, Zim. You get one protect delay. We have one protect delay. So 13 or more, you in the mix. You in the mix, brother. So let's count these. All right. Riverside Poly, we got 1. We got Rick Neuheisel, 2. We got favorite football player favorite football player growing up, 3. We got the shrimp fried rice, 4. We got the Megan Good on 5. We got Mike Singletary, 6. Marshall Falk, 7. Best player you ever played against, 8. Tacos or burritos, 9. Favorite fruit, 10. Ray Lewis, 11. He's going with the hot tea for 12. He's got the Lamar Jackson for 13. And if we give him
I said red beans, rice, bro, but you was trying to yell at me.
We have a new champion in the house, ladies and gentlemen.
I got you.
I got you
on that, bro.
Appreciate you, Q. Appreciate you looking out, Q. My fellow Buff was trying to call me out.
I got you back, brother. So Q the Guru comes through with the final referee call, and he says it's good. He says it's good for the red beans and rice. So we have a new winner, ladies and gentlemen.
Let's go.
With the 15, because he got 14 with the tech delay. So if we get 2 before the season and he's still in place, then I got to ante up for him and his wife. So that's big. So that's good. You came on the show late night and or last minute, and you came and smashed it. And he was very smart. For those coming in, he just gave the team name. He didn't play around, get nostalgic on us. He just gave the team name. So that's good to go. But we got to cover a couple of these. So the Riverside Poly, obviously, the Bears, that's all your alma mater. Now, he said favorite player growing up. Very interesting. We got a Cali guy talking about the Cowboys. He said Emmitt Smith, huh?
Yeah, man. You know, dad's from Oklahoma, man. Grew up like that's all it is. My whole family,
Okay,
that's what it is. And you can't really anybody want to compare Emmitt Smith to Barry Sanders, all that. Let's have a different conversation, bro.
Yeah,
I recognize Barry Sanders is a beast.
Was a dog, though.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
There you go, dog for sure. And a former teammate of ours, Andre Gerard, shout out, was blocking when he broke the all-time record, Emmitt Smith. So right there. He's going with the shrimp fried rice over the chicken chow mein.
What about eat chow mein?
Come on, bro. That was easy.
He's going with the Megan Good
on this show.
Lauren London's cool.
Look, if you eat anybody out there that eat chicken chow mein, don't even watch this show anymore.
Now you done got kicked out. If you're on the chow mein, you done got kicked out. Come on, man. My kids like that chow mein. You gotta watch out. All right. Now the best player ever. He's going with the Kenyon Rambo. He pulled one back from the days right there. Definitely a hell of a player. Now you said the burrito over the tacos.
That was tacos.
Or the tacos. Okay.
Tacos, come on, tacos
over the burrito.
Yes,
and then obviously we got the hot tea and then the red beans and rice for the win right there. Very, very good and brother. People lighting up the comments over here. So they said good stuff, Zim. You got it in for sure. That's the jail ministry. We see you. And Coach Foss says both are great with
no
the
doubt. No doubt.
Red beans.
I think he meant for Barry and Emmett. That's what I think he commented on.
Well, you never know. Coach Foss from down south, so we never know.
Hey, see, we got to know you knew Kenyon, man. You know he was my boy Reggie Germany, man. That was on the show. Reggie, man, we from the same high school. That was,
nice. Okay, that's what's up.
That's we off the rap. That's what's up.
All day.
Yeah, he was nasty, man. Kenyon was nasty. He could go
but T, you remember we was locking him up at the Shrine game. We was practicing one-on-ones.
Yeah, he told
him and Joey Gethero.
Joey about 5'2", boy, run a 4 flat, boy.
Come on,
man. It was going down.
Yes,
we were young bucks with big dreams of draft, like these young men tonight, man.
Right.
So let's get into our last question, and then we'll let you go. And then if anybody has any questions for Zimbalist, please feel free to pop them in the comment section. You're dealing with somebody that was a phenomenal high school recruit coming out of Riverside Poly. You guys could have went anywhere he wanted. Now he has a thriving business in the health and fitness space. So if you got any questions for Zim, hit him up. So let me ask you, man, because you have been able to build this personal brand to a very high level, and now it's just, tires off the runway and it's not coming down. If you were going into college today, let's say you're going to CU at Prime, you're going to Ohio State. Give us a little of that playbook for the athlete that's listening. What are some of the best things to build that personal brand?
Yeah, I think the first thing is like just be clear on what you really want. I think everything you do in life, you got to have clarity, without really that. And that really means understanding like it's like you can want this or think this, but clarity is important. And I think the way that you get to that point is realizing like what's most important to you, right? And it's not what's important to somebody else. And, of course, you can go to any school, the experience you have could be phenomenal. But I think the most important thing for you to be able to get the most out of the whole experience is having clarity and not letting yourself be that clarity be deferred or whatever because of somebody else's opinion of what you should do, family or whatnot. Because that's the same thing I went through. I was the first one to be in a scholarship situation out of 4 boys. I'm youngest of 4 boys. And I remember at the time, that's probably one of the reasons I went to Colorado. I wanted to get away from California, to be honest with you. That's it. But I will say to you, to be very direct, is clarity. If you know this is what you want, and you know that if it's going to college and getting a 4-year degree, or if it's going to college, getting that degree and getting into the league, and that's what you want to do, go there with purpose. But it starts with clarity. Understanding what it is, like know your subjects, know that when you go to talk to these coaches, like you're talking to them as a man, you're no longer in high school. So you start to really understand when you have purpose and clarity, if your direction. And then the biggest thing I can tell you is just focus on the moment, be where your feet are at. Yeah. Right. That's important.
Do you think that these kids are at a disadvantage? As far as just from a business side or even knowing what you're talking about?
I think that if it depends on how you look at it. It's a mindset thing. Like, bro, we didn't have the internet, right? We didn't have the ability to have access to stuff. Like we didn't, if you wanted to go search something, you had to go to the library and go look it up and find the book in the aisle or whatever it was. That's how it was back then. Right now you're exposed to so much. So the only thing I can say is that because information is so accessible, you take it for granted. And you could learn so much just by sitting down and focusing on what you want and taking the time and really learning it. Because college is college, bro. But learning is not just about college. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's what I would say. I think like I don't want to make any more excuses because I just feel like it's not saying, oh, we had it, harder. It's like, no, you have things that if we could have had them, right now we'd be talking about like this is what you could do with it. Give us that back in the day, right? Right. Then and then see where we be right today. Like give me the internet and give me access and see where I am today.
So you don't think you would have fumbled it?
No, bro. I think God would have done whatever, but I think my knowledge would have been on a level. I went to school to do marketing because I wanted to get to the league and I wanted to eventually be I wanted to understand how to market myself once I got to the league. And that was 20-some years ago. Yeah. That's what they're doing now. It's for real. You know?
It's the tools. It's the tools that they have. Really, they're at an advantage, not a disadvantage. They have all the tools that we didn't have, as he was saying. So absolutely, if you have any idea in regards to understanding business, understanding marketing, how to build a brand, putting the right people around you, to be successful, having a team, you can't lose. You have all the tools in the world.
Yeah, let me highlight something. I think it's important. Like people don't watch TV anymore. I mean, people don't watch commercials. So when it comes to these brands, these companies, they're looking for people who will get the eyes on their products to show their personalities, like all that stuff. So if you really think about it, when you got this time, like when you're given this time right now, you gotta utilize it, bro. Because the truth is, with all the stuff that's accessible to you, and the fact that you have this, like, man, you could start a long paper game right now. Right. Yep. And really double stack yourself because you're doing this thing, this temporary thing, because football is going to end, but you're building this long-term thing in the process. Think about that. You know what I mean? Yeah. And think about the fact that if Nike or, Chick-fil-A or whoever is like, we need to get eyes. We're not seeing the gains we want. We don't see the profits, but then they got you who understands that, and then just puts the simple stuff in place. That's what it comes down to, man. These athletes got it, bro. They got it. They just got to use it.
Yeah. And the thing is, to piggyback off of that, Z, like me and you have had this conversation before. I say all the time, having that understanding what he just said, that's why you don't need to play 10 years. No. For what?
Get your money.
I'm already rich. I don't need to play 10 years. I can put in my 5, right? get my pension, because I've already built, like you said, this brand from day one, maybe even, since I've been in college. I put my couple of years in and I'm out. I don't need to play 10, 12, 15 years in the league if I don't want to.
Yeah. Let me say this. We used to think about building a career, right? Like, what's your career going to be? If it's football career or business career, right?
Right.
I think that's cool. But if you learn business, you learn business. If you can learn how to build a business while you can not, because I'm gonna tell you right now, building a business and having like that grit to get through and be resilient through the challenges and stuff like that. But if you can do it on somebody else's dime and allow someone else to help build your brand and build your business, it's the best way to do it. You know what I mean? Because guess what?
I call it a partnership. They're not looking at it as a partnership. If Nick Saban is calling you, yes, you're going to be excited and pumped up, but is that the right partnership?
Right.
For you?
Right.
It might have been right for Bryce Young, but is that the right partnership for you?
But see, who are these young men talking to teach them how to have those conversations though? Because that's where it's at. Like these coaches these are big businessmen. They're getting paid millions of dollars to bring kids in. They know what they're doing. But when you're sitting on the other end and maybe your family is not as aware and you're having conversations and you're talking about partnership, it's like you just may be missing out because of your knowledge gap. You know what I'm saying? So the reality is, it's like you need to learn. Like maybe you should, it might be a good opportunity for somebody, to sit here and say, listen, I got a program where I can walk you through these things and talk to you and then role play with you, give you these different things so you can learn how to have these conversations that will actually probably elevate you based on the field. But once they start, because a lot of coaches, as soon as they talk to you, they're like, oh no, this kid has got it. And it's not just yes sir, yes ma'am, and this, that, and the other. It's like, no, man, I get it. I think
you're evaluating this as a business partnership.
You're interviewing them as well. Because as he said, you're a businessman and that has to be reckoned with as well. So it's a different level of respect. You just being a green kid that I just want to play football.
Yes sir, yes ma'am. Yeah. Definitely. I love the respect, but that's a huge opportunity, man.
It is.
Huge.
Definitely. Yeah, we got some people coming in here. Great advice. And we've got Zim with the greatest motivation. Yes, indeed. We knew that. So, hey, we want to let Zimbalist get out of here. But if you guys have not checked him out, then you're doing yourself a disservice. We're talking about athletes doing themselves a disservice. You're doing yourself a disservice if you have not checked out Zimbalist Carter. Tell the good people where they can find you, Zim.
Yeah, I wish my name was easier to spell, but if you start spelling it on Instagram, it says Zimbalist, but it's Zimbalist_Carter. It's Zimbalist_. I was gonna make it Zim Carter, but it ain't as fly as just Zimbalist, right? So yeah, if you could find me on any social media. It's my name, and at the end of the day, what I would say, if this is an opportunity to say my goodbyes, but I just want to say this, you guys are doing great things, man, and I'm definitely proud of both of you. It's a pleasure to be connected to you guys, and the work that you're doing is so important. So, if there's anything that I can do to continue to contribute, to what your guys' efforts are, I will say this. I sent this out to people and try to get them on here because what you guys are doing is phenomenal. And these young men who are saying they don't have leadership, they don't have guidance, as long as they tune into you guys, they're going to be all right. So proud of you fellas. Continue doing the work that you're doing. It's good work, man. And I appreciate you guys having me on. Even though it's last minute, I'm always ready. I stay ready. So
appreciate you.
Sure.
You gotta see me some of that salmon, man.
Got you.
This man got the meal prep going.
The recipes,
everything,
hey, I'm telling y'all better check them out. I'm telling you.
Yeah,
got some recipes that are smacking.
We don't play games.
There you go. So hey, that is the great Zimbalist Carter. Like I said, the health and fitness, the mindset coaching. You guys got to have the right mindset as soon as you walk out the door in the morning. This man will get you right. And then, of course, the physical training too. So do yourself a favor and tune in to what Zimbalist got going on the social media.
Definitely.
All right. All right, brother. Get to that massage, man.
Appreciate you, fellas.
All right, bro.
All right. So, hey, another good one. And he came through last minute for us, Q.
Clutch.
So, just people have no idea, dude, how many guys don't make it but had the talent, and he was one of them.
Yeah, I mean, it's so many, and I mean, that's one of the purposes for this show. I mean, everybody, kids got to understand, life is gonna throw you curveballs and plenty of potholes. We're
Yes.
here at the Locker Room Show to try to do the best we can and steer you around potholes, the ones that we
Yes.
fell in, and other ones that you haven't even seen coming down the road.
They coming.
I promise to God they coming, but again, that's the purpose of just filling yourself with good information and putting good people around you that really, really care about you.
Yes, indeed. And they're great advice for the athletes. And I see the wife coming in with the fire. That was another good show. So we appreciate it. And Coach Fall said, hey, if you stay ready, you don't got to get ready. And that's such a cliche term. But
real.
Hey,
yeah,
we talk about Tom Brady and all these people all the time. We had to call on Zimbalist late.
real quick.
He brought the fire. He brought the fire.
Fresh
so
out
we
the
always
bullpen.
want to bring fresh out the package. So we always want to bring value to you guys. And that's what the Locker Room Show is all about. This isn't about stats. This isn't about fantasy football. This is about you guys navigating this journey, the football journey, the right way, and making sure that you guys win on and off the field. We're former players. We're going to bring in people, the best from the industry, so that you guys are laced up and you guys can cash out in this industry or use it as leverage, because this is the best time ever. This is the best time ever right now. So we got your back, and make sure that you hit that subscribe button and you hold us down since we're bringing you this great free education. And please, please share with all of the players, the parents, and the coaches that you know out there, because we're going to bring you what you need to succeed. And we want to make sure everybody get a piece of that pie. So please subscribe, make sure you hit the like button, and please share with everybody that you know. So Q, another good Thursday, brother, in the locker room. And some guys are getting drafted. We got one of our very own. Let me send a shout out to the great Elijah Cooks coming out of San Jose State. Amazing wide receiver, about 6'4", Q. Played basketball actually in college too. He transferred from Nevada, played 2 years in Nevada too. So dual.
So he was a hooper.
Yes, the twins that are with the Miami Heat. Caleb, he was when they did their run with the Nevada Reno Wolfpack. He was on that team as a young pup. He was a true freshman.
Now, Coach, mind you say that. Now, anyone that didn't catch us last week, we had a conversation about hoopers.
Coach Embry.
Converting
Antonio
and end up being good football players. So check that out. Go on YouTube. Check that out from last week if you missed it. But I'm telling you, hoopers, if you're not getting any love, you might want to strap it up and give it a shot.
Or if you're only 6'5", 6'4", 6'6", your average NBA size, you're pretty tall on the football field.
I'm telling you, a perfect tight end. Perfect.
And those checks, they still cash, baby, even though it's not basketball. So you guys, you keep that in mind. So, hey, shouts out to the great Elijah Cook, Central Coast of California. I'm hearing Bears. I'm hearing Chiefs. I'm hearing Chargers. It's all a blessing. So we love you, Elijah, and wish you the best of luck. So we are officially out for this. Yes, Coach Hughes, Ricky Dudley. Ricky Dudley's another one of those dual sport kids right there. Ohio State superstar. So, hey, you guys go watch the draft. You young superstars, whether you're watching this recorded or live, go dream, then go put in some work. Go hit that bench press, go get them sprints in so that you can make it happen. Q, anything for the good people before we get out?
All I can tell y'all is check out, I keep saying next week, telling who we going to have on here. We didn't even know this week. But I tell you what,
I didn't even know right before the show.
Well, I tell you, but it's gonna be fire. That's all I can tell you. So tune in, check us out, hit that button next week. We'll see y'all next week. Gotta see who's coming
next week. Have a good one.